Well, with sweeping shutdowns, border closures and restrictions continuing across the country, there's no denying we're in the middle of an extremely trying time for business owners. Early estimates suggest as many as 15% of businesses in Victoria alone won't survive this current round of lockdowns.
Despite state-based business grants, changes to JobKeeper nationally and companies finding bold new ways to survive, will it be enough for an economy that was already struggling from this year's bushfires, followed so quickly by a pandemic-induced recession? Business mentor Mark Bouris joins us live to answer some of these questions. Good morning to you, Mark. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, guys. How are you going?
Good, mate. We've just had the first weekend of stage 4 lockdown in Victoria, another 5 to go. How big an impact will this have on businesses and can they survive?
Well, it's having a massive impact. That's the first thing. It's going to have a massive impact on businesses, not just in Victoria, but across Australia, because all of us are interconnected. I mean, Victoria just doesn't exist on its own. It exists, and it is the second largest part of the Australian economy. So we're going to have a loss of confidence. So generally speaking, consumers are going to lose confidence big time. And at where we really got to get worried, Larry, is when the consumer confidence or the drop in consumer confidence starts to drive into the business owners. So business owners right now, and I did a survey last week, business owners right now in Victoria are still fighting back. They're really strong and resilient and have a very good mental attitude. But if consumers' attitude and confidence drops off, then that'll start to bleed into the business owners too, and that's when people will start throwing it up and saying, that's it, I'm out. And then you're going to see a lot of drama.
So you hear from business owners directly on your mentored platform. What are they reaching out to tell you right now, Mark?
Well, largely I asked them how they're feeling. It was a simple question, and which, by the way, I would love to see governments do this sort of stuff. Say, how are you feeling? Instead of the government's actually standing there and dictating to everybody, wouldn't it be good once and for all that for once that business owners are asked, how are you actually feeling? You know, we keep getting told this, we've got to ask them how they're feeling. So what are they telling me? Well, largely they're all telling me, and I won't use the expletive that a lot of them use, but a lot of them are really filthy in the way they're being treated. That's the first thing, especially in Victoria. But secondly, because when they say being treated, they're not getting told enough information. They don't know enough information. They don't know why decisions are being made. So there is confusion. But the second thing is the response to that is a bit like Eureka Stockade stuff. They are saying no matter what happens, they will survive. They're all going to pivot. They're all going to do their very best to sort of keep their chin up without any help, by the way. They're not, I mean, sure, we got grants and things like that coming in from government, but at the end of the day, that's just money coming in every now and then. What these guys have to do, they have to survive on their own. They have to go home to their families and be inspired by their wife or their husband. They have to, and their kids have to support them. It's a big deal, and from what I can see from the surveys I've done, is they are all being extraordinary right now. Extraordinary in terms of inner strength. It's ridiculous, especially the Victorians. The resilience I'm getting out of the Victorians gives me goosebumps and makes the hair stand up on the back of my neck.
You would have seen some extraordinary stories of companies pivoting and quickly adapting to this situation. What should businesses around the country be doing, Mark, to adapt to survive?
Well, unfortunately, the first thing is that the top line we can't control. In other words, the amount of revenue we make, we can't control. You've got to start to control the middle line. In other words, not the profit, but you've got to control the expenses. So we've got to make sure that we understand how to manage our expenses, which means we need to know what our expenses are. What is the deal? What deal can we do with our landlord? What deal can we do with staff? Can we say to staff, look, can we reduce our costs for the time being? That I pay you as a staff member, but let's say 20% or 30%. But over time, I'll reward you and I'll give you a percentage of the business if we survive, if we make it through. So you've got to start doing deals. You've got to start sitting down and doing deals with people. And you've got to, in order to control the money that's going out the door, because you can't control the top line. And at the same time, start planning and building a strategy to try and pivot your business somehow. Whether that's online pivoting, whether that is getting supplementary income because you become a delivery person, go and rent a van or hire a van or hire, purchase or lease a van, and maybe offer yourself to one of these organisations to do takeaways. I don't know, but do something right now to pivot and build other cash flow sources and try and maintain and protect that precious business that you built up over the last 20 or 30 years.
So if there's one piece of advice to offer business owners, that would be it, to use this time wisely.
You use this time wisely to make more revenue and protect your costs going out the door. Now, you're not going to make more revenue out of your own business. That's a really hard thing to do. You can't control that. So go and find some area in the economy that is booming and try and tap into that even if it means becoming a humble courier, because believe it or not, couriers now have come into their own, and that is a great business, being in the courier business. Or you might be selling courier vans. Go to work for somebody who sells those vans. I'm hearing things, for example, that companies that sell vans have run out of stock. There's so many requests to buy a van at the moment.
Well, and cleaning businesses have got to be doing
well.
yeah. Okay, Mark, always great to hear your insights into what is a really tough time in Australian business right now. Thanks so much.
You're most welcome.